I, a female, in my early 20s, work 2 jobs. One of them is a corporate job in the industry I specialized in after uni in the morning, the other is a teaching job in the afternoon. I work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. most days. But I chose to, that is true. My goal is to save up and buy a parcel to build on eventually. My dad has been unemployed for around a decade, and he has taken up the role of SAHF, but does very little chores and never cooks. I don't have any say in this because my mom asked me to stay out of their marriage arrangements, and so I do. Yesterday, my aunt, dad's cousin, and her husband were at my parents' house, and so was I live here. My aunt was flattering me and telling me how hardworking and responsible I was, to which I replied with similar compliments for her children. My dad went into the conversation and started to underestimate my efforts, saying how easy both my jobs were and how unworthy of any compliments I was for it. I politely cleared that they weren't all that easy and that they were meaningful to me and of course tiresome to me. I said of course my jobs were more comfortable than agriculture or warehouse working, some of the jobs he worked in the past, but that they are equally as important. He got rudder and started saying I only knew how to whine and that working 2 jobs has no merit. He also added that I didn't even make a lot of money and I refuted that I make fair money. I got offended and said he shouldn't be the one to speak, given I work 2 jobs and he works 0, and my salaries pay for a lot of our household expenses, more than is strictly fair. He said he keeps the house and I said I do way more chores than him, as well as my mom. I dropped it and changed the topic after my aunt started scolding him for not appreciating my efforts. Later on, he screamed at me and called me an idiot for defending myself and humiliating him in front of my aunt by saying he doesn't have a job. He said it is normal to talk bad about your own children's accomplishments, and I should have taken it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and it's not normal to talk bad about your children. You're supposed to be happy about them. Edit. Just to clarify, I meant it's not normal to talk bad about your child's hard work and achievements, and you're supposed to congratulate them for it. It's 100% not normal to put them down for the amazing stuff they've done. Exactly. I take every chance I get to build up my children and recognize the efforts they put in. My teenage daughter had her first job last summer. It was an unpaid volunteer position, but it was absolutely work. I'm still bragging about it. She showed all the qualities of a hard-working, reliable person that you could ask for, and I'm very proud to be her father. OP is not the idiot, her dad needs to check himself on his entitled attitude. Not the idiot. You pay for the majority of things, plus do most of the chores? And your father has the audacity to treat you this way? I think it's clear what you need to do, time to leave and let him fend for himself. Yeah. He can't contribute and I can't let my mom just pay for the 3 of us without contributing, so we end up going 60-40 most of the time. She makes more than me but from 1 job. He doesn't like chores, and whenever he does them he leaves those chores that would make my life easier out of the deal. I made a post about it if you would like to understand that situation a bit more. Thanks for your comment. Normal to talk bad about your children's accomplishments. Well, actually most parents do the exact opposite. If he doesn't want to be seen as not contributing to the household, he needs to start actively contributing to the household rather than belittling the efforts of others to appear better. Not the idiot. I've been told he brags sometimes, but only if I'm not around. But he says things like thanks to me she has accomplished. Or I raised her so well that now she works as. So I don't know how much of a praise to me it really is. Just recently my husband, 31, was promoted to assistant manager of the warehouse. We both work on the ups of 50 hours a week. I am a shift manager at a behavioral disorders facility. Both jobs are very hands-on and strenuous. Since his promotion, he has developed an entirely different attitude. Extremely entitled and dare I say rude. He is always boasting and bragging. This has been going on for 3 weeks. So, some examples are as followed. On his days off he wants the house to be radio silent. If our 4-year-old wants to play, he tells her to stick to her bedroom because he needs peace and quiet after working so hard. If I make our daughter lunch, he will immediately say, "Where's mine?" He asks me to grab him things damn near constant all hours of the night. He expects nightly back rubs, but if I ask he will scoff at me and say, "I worked all day, even if I had as well." He expects meals that he likes made every night, regardless of whether me or our daughter like the meal or not. He also now acts like he has full say over the money because he makes more. Last night was the tip of the iceberg for me. Before this, I let a lot of crap slide because it was a recent promotion, and hell, he's excited. So, I get it. But last night around 11 p.m., I was in bed scrolling through my phone, he comes into the bedroom, lays down, and says, "Babe, you should go make me some ice cream. I want the chocolate drizzle on it. And oh, don't forget the cashews." Then he starts scrolling through his phone. I ignore it because I feel at this point I was going to snap. He then shook my leg and said, "Did you hear me?" So I responded with, "Yeah. I did hear you and no. Go make it yourself. You were literally just out there. Your sense of entitlement is way out of line. Do crap for yourself." He became offended and instantly, like clockwork, said, "But I worked all damn day." So I snapped back with, "Yeah, I did too. In fact, I worked 12 hours to your 8. As I said, do crap for yourself." He is now saying that he is not acting entitled and that I was just taking my bad day out on him and that everything I said makes him feel unappreciated. Am I the idiot? Did I push it too far? Not the idiot, someone needs to knock your husband off his high horse. You two need to have a serious talk that at home you're equals and he's not the boss. Hell, if he's treating employees like this, things won't go well at work either. My husband and I work an equal amount of hours, so we split the chores and take turns cooking. Sounds like he needs to pitch in too. Not the idiot, and if that's how your husband is acting at work, his stint as an assistant manager will be a short-lived one. For the sake of his career, he needs to learn the difference between being a boss and being a leader. Not the idiot. Girl, nip this in the bud now before it goes any further. I understand he got a promotion, but he needs to reel it in. Tell him to grow up, stop acting like a child, you work just like him, and make him stop throwing money in your face. Also, just because his job is strenuous doesn't give him the right to act like an idiot. Good luck. My 34M daughter, 14F, had a sleepover B-day party last Saturday and she invited 5 girls from her school. There was this one girl that she invited who I could tell from her attitude was a spoiled brat. When she rang the doorbell, she walked in looking down at her phone, didn't greet me or my wife, and handed me her jacket without even looking up. The whole night she was on her phone doing whatever the heck 14-year-olds do on phones. I thought she was just embarrassed or shy because maybe she didn't know anyone, but according to my daughter, she is a super-duper cool girl. Anyways, towards the end of the night, my daughter was opening her gifts. SB made a comment about every single gift. Not exactly snarky, but more like she was just unimpressed. The final gift was from me and my wife. We bought her an iPhone 7 by pooling all of our remaining extra money to buy her it. The SB scoffed because she had the newest gen iPhone. I helped my daughter set up the phone with a SIM card, and for the rest of the night they just hung out in her room. My daughter came down a bit later and she was just sitting on the couch. I asked her what was wrong, and she just went back up while saying, "Why couldn't you have just bought me the newest iPhone?" That was really out of character for her, as she is always grateful for receiving anything. My daughter left the phone on the table. I grabbed my daughter's phone to see a bunch of texts going back and forth between SB and my daughter. They exchanged numbers and the convo went something like this. D. Hey, it's me. SB. Thanks for inviting me to your lame slumber party lol, and congrats on the iPhone 7 haha. D. What? SB. Aren't you mad that your parents and friends got you such lame gifts? SB. Slumber parties are for little girls lol, but was it cool? D. You don't like the party. SB. I just wish I could go home lol. End. It was around 1 a.m. and the girls were still up talking. I knocked and asked if I could speak with SB. She looked confused. I told her she needs to grab her things, something came up. I did this so as to not embarrass my daughter in front of her friends. I took her downstairs and asked her to call her mom. She asked why and I said, "Because that's what you said, right? That you wish you could go home? So go." She was tearing up a bit and made the call. I talked with her mom for a bit when she came. I showed her the texts and she apologized profusely and said, "It's just a teenager phase 1 guess. I'm so sorry, but don't you think she could stay? If not, I understand." I thought about it for a bit, but her staying probably would have made it awkward for everyone, so I told her it was best if they just left. My wife said that I overreacted and I should have just talked with SB rather than immediately kick her out. I firmly believe I taught her a good lesson that she needed to learn. It was my daughter's birthday, and I didn't want the rest of her night ruined because of some spoiled brat who was making it all about her. I guess she didn't exactly do anything wrong, but at the same time, her attitude was unbelievable. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, you did what your daughter couldn't, and that's stand up to a bully. It will be years before she realizes that those cool people in high school oftentimes grow up to be terrible people, that she would never seek a relationship outside of that high school setting. But I wouldn't let someone disrespect my home or my family. Not the idiot. I completely understand where you are coming from. That being said, this may have made things worse for your daughter in the long run. It's been a while since I was a teenage girl, but I remember they can be vicious. Hopefully, the girl learned a lesson, but it's possible she may lash out at your daughter because of being sent home. You're the idiot for not talking to your daughter first. 14 is an insane age, and this girl could make her social life hell because of this.